Hello and welcome to Radical Cup Sonoma race number 1 on Saturday, April 11th, 2026 in the worst conditions I've ever driven in my life. Ironically, it was a Porsche Cup weekend that the Radical Cup was co-hosting, and it was beautifully sunny for much of the days. It seemed to be fate that when the clouds rolled in and the hail started falling was right when we needed to grid up for the Radicals. So every time we were on track, other than maybe for 3 or 4 minutes during qualifying, it was absolutely dumping rain. And we had just gone through a whole bunch of hail actually right before this. And here we are rolling out to start the race. Because there was so much standing water on the track, they wanted to do a number of safety laps. Well, I guess safety car laps, where we started the race behind the safety car. And I think we did 3 laps, but this is the whole video. So pulling out of the grid, it's just insanely cold. We were also a little frustrated that the safety car was going way too slow. We gave them that feedback for races in the future. Once we get a little bit more speed on the car, the water shears off of the lens. Another big issue we all had was just keeping temperature in the engine, and the brakes and the tires, of course, but temperature in the engine keeps it in a range where it's allowed to use the full horsepower. And I'm in a Radical SRXX or SR3XX, which isn't as mean as the XXRs, which the cars in front of me are XXRs, and those, when the temperature gets down to where you can see my screen turn blue, you'll see it a little bit later in the race, they would actually shut off. So I had a huge advantage that my car wouldn't shut off, but still was insane out there. We're all just kind of hunting around, trying to figure out the brake bias, try to figure out if there's any grip anywhere. Generally, there was no grip anywhere. And they were telling us on the radio that we were going to continue with the pace car a number of laps. And part of that is just to get all the rain tires getting as much water off the track as possible. It's crazy. Once you're behind a car and it's spraying all the water in the air, you cannot see anything. So when we get to actual race start, it's pretty mind-blowing. So that was 1 lap, again behind the safety car. think I'm already getting the blue screen. If you look down on my steering wheel, I think it's blue, and it just says low temperature or engine cold. So I couldn't see what gear I was in or what the RPMs were. Just know that my engine was cold. And as I mentioned, mine's an XX, an SR3XX, which didn't shut the motor off, but some of the XXRs in the field actually shut off. There you go. So I got enough heat that I could actually see my gear. They're telling us on the radio, just rev the heck out of your engine, like just rev it super high while you're doing these warm-up laps. It's funny, you would never take a Radical out in the rain unless you absolutely had to. And when you're doing Radical Cup, you don't have a choice. It was raining and we had to go out. Another safety car lap. You can see the lights still on in the safety car. It's going to take a lot of patience to watch this whole video. I will be putting out a highlight reel as well, but I figured I'd do the full races and narrate. Alright, they gave us some indication that we were going to be starting this lap. So we're all trying to get a lot more heat. It's pretty hard to get heat into the tires because it's so wet out, but you can at least get heat into your brakes. And getting heat into the brakes gets a little bit of heat into the tires. Mainly just want to keep the engine warm so I can see what gear I'm in. And I should point out, I'm in the gold class, in the 1500 gold class, so I'm second in my class right now. I think the guy directly in front of me is also in my class. He's in first place in my class. Yeah, we're gonna get the start here, so we get tight. pace cars left. And they're doing a single file start instead of side by side, just because of the conditions. Absolutely impossible to see stuff if you're right behind someone. I'm pretty sure that's Chris Huhn right in front of me, which is the leader in gold class right now. So I'm in second place. Just look how much water is coming over the nose of the vehicle. That's just crazy. Spin out already? The amount of sliding. Oh, and there's someone in the wall. That's going to bring out the safety car again, most likely. We'll see. Trying to get a line up on them. Anytime you went to put the throttle down, oh, you can see there that it says engine cold on my steering wheel, and it's snapping constantly. Oh, and we have full course yellow already. So somebody has crashed or is just stuck in the road. And as I mentioned, a couple of the XXRs had issues where they would have to cycle the power on the car. So they would just stop in a really bad spot. Of course, everything's blind out there. And I was lucky in that mine just had this blue engine cold screen. And I just didn't know what gear I was in. It was definitely a game of survival. Just the amount of freaking water on the track. can see that the lights are off in the pace car, so they're going to restart it again. So got to get up tight and get ready. Get up tight and get ready to not be able to see anything. Pace car's gone. Alright, try to get a nice run. And we go. Nope, they held it. I don't know why, but they did not restart the race. So now we have another pace lap. I think in the broadcast they said there was a discussion going on between race control or something, and there might have been a car stopped somewhere. I'm not sure. Sitting 7th overall, 2nd in class, right behind Chris Huhn. Oh wait, make that 8th overall, just counting the cars coming around this corner here. You can see this has been a very conservative race. It's pretty much just try to stay alive. Stay alive, stay on the island. Lots of safety car laps though, so there's nothing you can do there. Just don't go off during safety car. I got the engine cold sign, so no idea what gear and RPM I'm at. It is funny. Sitting and watching this, narrating it. What a boring race to watch, even as in-car. But bless you, you can watch the whole thing and you get a prize. I'm trying to work some heat back, and now the car's still snapping. Snap anytime you give it any sort of go. Okay, pretty sure we're gonna restart here. Oh, I see. That's right. A car had gotten stuck on the pits. So they had to close the pits because there was a car stopped in the pit circle. But I think they're gonna restart it right here. We gotta get tight and go to business. Nope, they're keeping it closed. More yellow flag laps. Alright, folks. I hope you're enjoying this race as much as I am reliving it. I haven't actually sat down and watched this whole thing. What a freaking boring race to watch. I feel terrible for people that were there watching it in person because they're all. Oh, there's actually my brother's motorhome up to your left. Tom and crew are up there watching, hopefully in the warmth of the motorhome. Hopefully get the restart this lap. I did end up getting tremendously sick after all this, but I don't know if it was from the races or I just got sick afterwards. But man, I had a terrible cough and a fever for a while after the races, like midweek after. There we go. I've got enough heat in the car that I can see my gear again. That's nice. Alright, lights are off in the pace car. So this means we're going to finally restart. So much standing water everywhere. Foreshadowing. Foreshadowing what's to come. I'm sitting, it looks like 8th overall. 2nd in class, right behind Chris. Alright. Here's a restart. This is a very accurate view of what I could see, which is basically nothing. There's Sam McDougal came ripping through. Very good job. So slippery, pushing on anything, end up super wide. Definitely short shifting, trying to keep off of the cams. You cannot see a damn thing when there's that many cars in front. Sort of hunting for grip, you can't really tell. There's a car coming around. Hey buddy. Lucky to be able to see that. And Sam McDougal goes off. I think his car shut off on him actually. Now it's just back to me hunting Chris again. First time through these corners at actual speed. So much sliding. Wanted to push right there, but you just don't know if it's gonna hold. You pretty much know that it's not going to hold, actually, is more accurate. And then I finally got a good run. And goodbye, Chris. So I'm leading and sliding like crazy. But leading gold class, I'm in first place now. And chasing down Axboe, who's Jurgen or something, Axboe. He's the championship leader, Cameron Racing teammate, but he's in a 1500 in the young gun class, and he's flying. But I got really excited that I was catching him, because apparently I found out later, I thought I was just awesome, but I found out later that he was having a lot of issues with his car. Look at the amount of sliding. It's just non-stop. Slide, slide, slide. Anytime you get on throttle, it just kicks out. So this is just absolute war to try to stay alive. Pushed me way out right there. More foreshadowing. Jonas Axboe is his name. Wasn't sure if that was lap traffic or people having trouble with their cars, but this is Jonas Axboe that I'm closing on. I got really excited. I was like, oh my god, that's Jonas. That's championship leader. And he ended up clean sweeping. He won all 3 races overall. So I didn't know that at the time because this is race 1. But I'm chasing a guy down that I have no right being anywhere near, so I was very excited. And so I'm thinking, like, I have to pass him. But as you can see, I don't have any traction. I don't have any traction at all. You have to keep reminding yourself to accelerate because you do not want to push on that pedal. Gets huge sideways there. I feel like I might be able to get a run, and then I almost get tossed. I'm thinking I've got a shot at him. You've seen how many times my hands have snapped. Just keeping it on the island is hard enough. And then my car spins, hits the wall, and here's where I wish I had restarted the car immediately, because I was able to restart. It restarted, and I could have just driven straight on the track, like right there, to your right. Drive onto the track, because there's not that much water. But I wanted to be conservative and merge in, but then there's this huge puddle. So I'm cruising, and I'm like, oh crap, this puddle's huge, and then it just spins, and I'm beached, and that's it. So had I just pulled directly onto the course, I would have been fine. Like, I could have gotten T-boned by somebody, but I would have been going and I would have been fine. My rear wing was collapsed and the bodywork was crunched a little bit. but not bad enough. And I probably would have stayed first in my class. But that's what happened. It was, you can rewind and watch that again, but basically I'm just driving and it starts spinning. There's nothing I did. It just spun, and once it was spinning, it was gone. I was hydroplaning, and it barely tapped the wall. And I did fire it back up and start driving, but then got beached. And frustration's pretty freaking high, but I know I'm beached, so there's nothing I can do. I gotta wait for the guys to come out. And I was gonna try to get them to push me because I know I could drive. I was just driving. And, well, as you'll see, they are convinced that the car can't continue, and they tell me to cut the motor and get out. And so I have to get out. And the bizarre thing is they made me go to medical, and I had to get a full physical to make sure I was okay, even though I tapped the wall and was driving. They said if you wreck your car and it's stopped on track, you have to go get a physical. Whatever, that's fine. Anyway, that's race 1 for me. Pretty sure I would have won my class had I just driven back onto the track there. But, that's the brakes. They keep telling me I'm high-centered. High-centered, push me. Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. I'm totally okay. Push the car, guys. The car drove fine. After we fixed the damaged parts of the bodywork, they didn't even have to realign it. It was perfectly fine. And it would have run great. We weren't really using the wing downforce at all, so I probably would have been able to hold position no problem. But he's convinced the car's smashed and I can't drive. Anyway, this is what it looks like sitting in the rain when your car is beached. And they send medical. So I had to get out of the car. Of course, there's tons of mud. Not stoked about stepping in the mud. And that's it.